Hey y'all, welcome back to the Mr. Global channel. Real quick before I get started on the flooding in Kerrville, Texas. Wow, unbelievable. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to all of my new followers. My channel is growing very quickly, very quickly. This morning, Kerrville, Texas, devastating, tragic flooding going on right now as we speak, and it continues. I've seen reports that the Guadalupe River has risen by over 25 feet of its normal levels. I've read reports that it is now at its highest level in recorded history. I've read other reports that it is at its second highest level. Regardless of that, the devastation, the loss of life, the destruction is continuing to go on and happen in and around the city of Kerrville, Texas, and other communities downstream on the Guadalupe River as we speak.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it. Please tell me getting this on video. Yeah, Kent's over.
That is video footage from Camp Mystic, a summer camp for kids along the Guadalupe River, which was completely washed away. And I don't know if you noticed, but there were kids, there were children inside of that cabin as it was being swept down the river. We have conflicting reports on Camp Mystic. I have read reports that everyone has been accounted for, and I have read more recent reports that they have, in fact, not all been accounted for. So that is still pretty murky. We don't know exactly what has happened with all of the people at Camp Mystic. We do know the vast majority of them have been accounted for at the very least. That is something we can definitely say. There were two other summer camps that, to my understanding, all of the children and the counselors and the people involved with those camps were evacuated or at safety at this point. What we do know for sure is there is a lot of loss of life, a lot of destruction, a lot of property destruction, a historic flooding event is ongoing in Kerrville right now. And I cannot help but look at these images and think about what these people in this community and other communities downstream that may be impacted by this are going to be going through in the coming days and weeks. Because if watching the video footage of it isn't bad enough, when you watch that video footage knowing that there's no help coming for these people, it makes it significantly worse. And this is why there is so much outrage around the cutting of social services, the guts to FEMA, trying to dismantle FEMA and get rid of it altogether, return it back to the states. This is why it is so important that we elect people, that we put people in office who have an understanding of how vital and critical these basic services are to the people that live in this country. And there is already a lot of talk online, a lot of hate, people online saying, you know, the people of Kerrville got what they voted for. This is not a time for that. I don't care who the people of Kerrville, Texas voted for. You can worry about that later. Just got a new update. 6 confirmed dead. 20 children are still missing. Just got that update as I was filming this. I don't care who they voted for. They need help. That at its core is what we're supposed to be about here in America. I do not like what I'm hearing from people, specifically either moderates or people on the left. And it's not everyone, of course, but I'm hearing way more of it than I would like to. It is becoming a predominant talking point on social media as we speak. And that's another reason I chose to make this video. We should not care who they voted for. That's something they can deal with, not something we need to be throwing in their face. If someone went out and voted for Donald Trump, they likely would not predict that their life would be swept away in a flood just weeks later and what the consequences of that would be. It's just not the time for that. But it is the time to talk about why it's so important to understand who we put in office as a people. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. This is why it's important that we have people in our government that are empathetic, that show care and compassion towards those that have gone through a tragedy like this. Whether you agree with their policies or not, that at its core, to me, is a basic required fundamental trait of anyone that I even think about voting for. If you show a lack of compassion for others, if you show an inability to be empathetic towards others, I don't care if you have an R or a D or if you're an independent. I don't care what policies you have that I agree or disagree with. If you don't have that first, most important, basic, fundamental quality that we as humans should have, then you're not getting my vote. Period. It's not a thing. So I hope that the damage the current administration has done will not spill over onto these people in Kerrville, Texas. Specifically the damage to FEMA. And I hope that our leaders in Washington and whatever leaders they have in Texas will step up and ensure that these people get the help that they need. You cannot count on the insurance companies. You just can't. With a disaster of this size and the amount of property damage that is going to occur in this area, the insurance companies might just fold up. It would not be the first time. So what do we need to be thinking about with this flood? Well, we need to think about how to mitigate things like this in the future, how to prevent more loss of life, if at all possible, due to climate change. We need to think about how we're going to help these people. We need to think about how we're going to help these people. Whether you like them or not, it does not matter. We're talking about children who don't get to vote, who should not suffer the consequences of their parents' decisions. There are people involved here who have no interest in politics, who are innocent, who are bystanders to all of this. That's who we should be thinking about. So that's what I wanted to leave you with on this day, July 4th, 2025. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I really appreciate all the new followers. Thank you guys so much. I don't know if I'll be making another video today. It is July 4th. We'll see.